guys, I'm Kim from CosmykStudios, and today I have drawn a jellyfish that I would like to transfer onto a block, hopefully, and carve it out. So let's do it. Start off with your drawing and some tracing paper. I want to make sure, yes, okay, we're good there. Alright, so since my paper goes out, or my tracing paper goes out a little, I'm going to go ahead and tape it to my mat here. So that we don't have any shifting. Fold one end so that I can pick it up pretty easily. And now I'm going to use a really, I'm going to use a graphite pencil, and the reason for that is because it transfers really nicely to your carving block. This one is a soft pencil. I just grabbed a soft pencil. I don't think it matters if it's soft or hard. Anyway, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to trace. Awfully close to that line right there. We might have to change it, go next to it, do something a little different, but we're gonna try. Like I said, if we don't try the hard stuff, we won't get good. Okay, we are ready to transfer. I always save my little drawings because you might want to try it again later. You might never want to see it again, but you might want to try it again later. Just because that's just how it works out sometimes. Alright, now we're going to take our block, flip it, and I'm going to center it. And all I'm going to do is just rub a drawing, and this pencil is so soft I think it'll just transfer right over. I'm just using a, now some people, I started to say I'm just using a steady pressure with my fingers. Alright, I'm happy with that. I'm also going to save my tracing because you could also flip it over and trace it, and that will put the rest of the graphite down. A lot of people will get to this point and trace over with a black pen, but gosh, not me. Why would I do something like that? No, I just like to jump in. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take out a craft knife because I've made some discoveries on this stuff. And what I have discovered is if you angle this part out and you cut out, then you come back the other way and you cut that way, and you get a, sometimes it comes up nicely, sometimes it doesn't. But we're going to start over here on this end, and I'm just going to put my blade in. And I'm just going to turn this block for myself because I think turning the block is helpful. And now I want to go turn it this way. And I want to go back kind of the opposite direction of what I did here. And I'm turning my blade towards the cut, and I don't know if you can see this piece coming up here. But I've got a little piece came up. It's a very, very thin piece. I think this one, I think it would have been easier with a, thicker line to follow. But we got what we got. And here it comes. Alright, so we have some stuff in here that's still needs to come out. I don't think he's going to be perfect, if I'm being honest. He's already giving us a little bit of attitude here. Okay. Well, what we can do later is we can go back through with the gouge. Let's try the pin. See if that'll help lift some of these areas where you can see it's wanting to come up. It's just not coming up. There we go. Oh, this is a helpful little tool here. This is actually for weeding, but you know what? Works pretty well on the rubber too. I haven't tried doing a circle perfectly yet, so I'm kind of wanting to try a circle. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to poke down in the center here, and I'm going to spin. It's bigger than the bubble I drew, but it's not going to be a perfect circle. I can see that it took out a piece that I really wouldn't have wanted to come out, but that's okay. We can see that how that comes in after production. And then this one here is a much tighter circle, so we're just going to kind of press in and spin. Okay. Not perfect, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to do these little tentacles here next. I'm going to go on the outer edge of this, and I'm just going to take my blade angled in, and again I'm just kind of turning the block, and I keep forgetting to keep my blade angled because, you know, patting your belly and rubbing your head at the same time, or vice versa, is not always the easiest thing concentration wise. Okay, I'm going to go on this side of the line, and I'm going to go and cut against where we did it the first time. Sorry about the dog. Somebody's walking by with their dog, and he thinks that is unacceptable. He just doesn't believe that if he can't be outside, nobody should be outside. All right. All right, I'm not mad at this. So much easier to see, like, after you get it done, how it's turning out. So let's just trust the process. This one's going to be really wonky to do because of its angles and I can feel this thing skipping all over the place. So we will see how it comes out. If it doesn't come out like we want it to, we have the gouge. We can use the gouge for fixing things. And this may not be the prettiest thing you've ever seen. I'm just going to say that right out. It might be the wonkiest of the wonky. I just want to make sure there's nothing in here. If I fold it, it'll kind of give me an idea of where the cuts are. So, alright, so we will get started on this here. Again, you're going to face your plate in this way. And then turn it in this way and see what we get here. Oh, that was a good one. Did you see that? That one came up pretty nicely, but they are touching there, so we'll have to see. Alright, so again, and you might prefer to do this with a gouge. I don't know. I started off with the gouge, and then I just kind of switched to the this little dude here, and I'm loving it for some reason. All right, there we go. Ooh, that whole thing came out so nice. And it's hard to see because you can still see the lines, so you won't, you and I won't know how this turns out until I actually put ink on it. But we have a ways to go here. Okay. Alright, come on you. There we go. And that came right out. I know, hard to see, but I promise you it did. And again, I find that taking the blade kind of out to the side, because what it does is it kind of creates like a stop inside your project here. And if you're not happy with your end result, you can always go back in and gouge out other areas that you would like to have gone. So, easy peasy. Just going to go down like this. And then, like so. There we go. This part's coming out much easier than I thought it was going to, but let's give it a chance and see how it looks when I'm done, yeah? Alright, and this one's going to be a nice long, flowy, okay, like that. And then go in here and come on. Oh, that just came right out. That was easy. They're not all going to be that easy. Okay, so now we're going to go along here. Okay. piece to come up there, but now we need this part here to come out. Alright, let's just get in here and get this part out. There we go. And we have another little piece in here that I need out. Like I said, you can also go back through with the gouge, so I'll probably do that in a second. We're going to go around here and we're going to get this little guy out. That was easy. I think the reason I like doing the jellyfish so much is because he's just wonky. You know, they're just naturally free-flowing and not perfect, which makes them fun and perfect, right? Okay, we're just gonna, and there we go. And this one here. Alright, so we are done with the preliminary, and we're going to just check it out. I'm just using an archival ink to begin with. Make sure that it's stamped really well. And we are going to take it and pop it down on paper and see how it goes. Let's see, you can use the back of a wooden spoon. I actually have this little thing here, and darn, I don't remember what it's called, but it's got a big block handle on it, and if I can remember the name of it, I will put it in the description below. There we go. I am not mad at my little guy here. There are some areas I think you could use a little work, and that's where your gouges come in. And let's see here. I swear I thought I had 6. I don't know why I thought I had 6, but I think it's only 5 in here. I'm going to leave that one out too. That one's kind of a cool little thing to use sometimes. Okay. So, sometimes these are a little tricky to get in here. And just be careful when you're finagling them down in that you don't cut yourself, because that could be a thing. And I don't know why. Maybe I need to take the whole head off of here and fix it, because it's been annoying for days. I think it's just shifting around in there. I don't know. There we go. We got it. Right up to the neck. Still feels a little weird. Alright, so this piece here, I don't know what this is. I'm looking at the picture. I don't know what that is, and I'd like to kind of smooth some of these lines out a little bit. So, let's see. We're just going to make this a bubble. There we go. And let's see, this leg over here has a piece in it. There we go. And let's see. There are parts over here where this just did not come out. So we are going to remove it. Another thing that makes this a little bit easier sometimes is if you start your block off with some ink. Put some ink down on your block and then you transfer your design to it, and it makes it easier to see in some respects. So, I'm trying to figure this part out over here. This part turned out pretty good, but there are some jagged parts over here. So, not sure how I'm going to be able to smooth them out because they're all so darn close to each other. don't think there's a whole lot more I can do to this guy here because the tentacles are so close together. I probably should have chosen something that was a little bit easier. And here's what we got. It's okay. I am very sniffly. I've been sick for a couple of weeks now. Pretty annoying. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot more I can do to this guy here, just because, like I said, he's pretty... Let me try and define his body a little bit more over the domed part here. And I think that might help things, but like I said, there's not a lot I can do. Not a ton I can do. Okay, let's just see what the next stamp looks like here, and I think we're going to call this one done. We'll do another one that's easier. I did a really cute sun for my granddaughter, and I'm really proud of her. The sun. The granddaughter too, but really proud of how the sun came out. She's pretty. Alright, let's take this and put it down and see what we got. You can, like I said, you can get one of these and press it down. Some people run it across the back. I'm not going to do that because I find it smears for me. Alright. So I'm not super thrilled with some of the lines, but some of the lines I really like. So, anyway, I'm very new at this. I have done some others that I think are pretty darn cute. This one I just did yesterday and I really love it. This giant flower here. And let's see, where's the mushroom I just did? I did a mushroom. And here's the sun that I did for my granddaughter. So, anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will do another video where I show you how to really scrape away the outer edges and give yourself a really cool, and you can see this one, you can see the black where it's going to hit. I don't care for these outside edges here, so I'm just going to actually, you can literally just take scissors and trim the excess parts that you're not loving, and I'm not loving this edge over here. So, just cut it, be done with it. Okay, so, got that edge gone. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed my video today. If you did, please give it a like and a subscribe. You can comment down below if you have any questions. And I would be happy to take suggestions on what to try and do next that's not overly complex. I'm not super great at this yet, as you can see, but this was a small one. If I would have done one on a larger scale, I think it would have turned out nicer. But anyway, don't forget to release your inner artisan, and I hope you have a magical journey. Thank you. Bye.